Here with another Weebaholic podcast. Let's get it. Let's go. Today, I have a very, very special guest. Man, I've been a fan of for some years now at this point. Introduce yourself, bro.
Yo, how's it going, everybody? Masked man. Appreciate you for having me, bro. This is dope.
All right, appreciate you for coming on. Before we get an episode, guys, remember to like, comment, subscribe, turn notification bell, notify all the podcasts. Follow us Anime Answer Again Show on all platforms: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. We're almost at 1K. Let's get it done, man. Please.
Right.
1K. But now, I want to interview my special guest. I've been a fan of his channel for probably since his first video. I remember watching the video. I think you were talking about Naruto. It was like an hour-long video. I remember that video specifically. I remember all these other videos you did. I remember your first time going on Rant Cafe. Like I've been following you for a minute. So I want to ask,
Yeah. Okay.
how'd you get into anime, bro?
How'd I get into anime? So for me, I was like around the age, I was young. I'll tell you that much. I was probably around the age of 10, 11. That was when I was getting into a lot of things. But that was when I got into Dragon Ball, which was like my first anime manga. Like I reread Dragon Ball so many times because my uncle gifted me like these volumes that he had, and I would just read it over and over again. And I think nowadays has benefited me a lot because like I have that like natural sense of like paneling, like
Right.
this is what leads to Akira Toriyama's a real genius with that. But I didn't actually start getting into anime like that again to like 2017, 2018. And that was when I got into like Naruto, so Kage's channel, and then like 2018 I got into Magi and all these other anime. And I actually didn't really start expanding until I had started my channel. And that's when I started like watching and mostly reading like a lot of other stuff. And the more that I read, the more my channel grows. So I got to get to reading more again because I've been lazy with that. But yeah, that's kind of like my story as to how I got into anime personally. It's like I'm just like someone who was really casual with it, enjoyed it, and was like, I can make content about it because like your YouTube channel is a YouTube. Like you should be able to do the things that you enjoy, You should never feel pressured to be like, oh, like I gotta be the smartest out there. Cause not like just be yourself. And if people find that entertaining, whether you're somebody who makes complicated things simple or you do really good analysis or you're just funny, like as long as you're enjoying it. So that's kind of like my whole experience with anime.
For sure. And I wanted to like touch on like Dragon Ball side. Like I didn't get into anime until about what I'm 18. 4 years ago, right? So really late,
Right.
whatever. And a lot of people, and I've done this before, shit on Dragon Ball, and I don't like that, whatever. And I'll explain why.
Right.
I'm not the biggest
Right.
fan of Dragon Ball, but I understand.
Uh-huh.
I meme, I like to fuck around. But two, it's
Right.
funny because it's like I'm not gonna say if we didn't have Dragon Ball, we wouldn't have anime on the west side of the United States. I mean, the west side of the world. Shit, my bad. West side of the world, but it's also like it really impacted like the things we love, like the Naruto, the One Piece,
Right.
the Bleach, and stuff like that. And it's like for what I always compare Dragon Ball to like a WWE. It's all about who can go over the top, who like especially Super and later on, like original Dragon Ball. Yes, great storyline. I thought it was pretty good, but as you
Right.
go on and on, it also was like okay, well they were doing something that works. So you don't go to Dragon Ball the same way you might go to Berserk or One Piece or like
Right.
it's good for different reasons. So how do you feel
Yeah.
about like the Dragon Ball slander kind of?
I think it's one of those things where it's whenever you talk about like a community thing, because whenever you talk about like slander or misconceptions or anything, praise, that's a community thing, right? It's not just one person going out there. No, it's an opinion that spreads and spreads and spreads. And so there's multiple variables that play into that. Social media, echo chambers, and stuff like that. People many times taking an opinion before reading or consuming a series, or maybe in the case of Dragon Ball, I've spoken to a few people, so I can't say it's everyone. I'm not going to overgeneralize like that. But
Right,
like, it's been a long time since some people have seen it or read it,
right,
So then when the memories of said series aren't that fresh, like I went back and reread Dragon Ball when I was older because I didn't want to go off of my thoughts from when I was 12. Because when I'm 11, 12, I'm not thinking like, oh, this has great paneling. This actually has good story structure, even though it's very simple. I'm not thinking of genres and all that stuff when it comes to a story because Dragon Ball is a battle shonen, therefore it pushes its narrative through its battles. And how iconic it is, I think people tend to forget that as well. Like we kind of take it for granted, but the Super Saiyan's probably one of the best executed transformations, like the original Super Saiyan. Like that's well done to this day, I think, out of all the stuff that I've read. So I think, because it's an older iconic series, because it's popular, anything popular is going to automatically get more hate than the normal.
Right.
So that's just how it goes. So I think it's multiple factors, and as to how I feel about it, I mean, like after a while, you kind of, I'm not going to say I'm a veteran in the anime community, but I do have enough experience to say there comes a point where you're just like, "Ah, whatever."
Yeah.
Like you just keep it pushing,
Right.
like you do you.
Right. Yes, because a lot of people, where I'm not the biggest fan of it. I recently went back and reread it just because, like I said, I didn't grow up on it or whatever. Like my co-host, he's watched it since he was like 4 years old. He has that nostalgia love to, like, he's gonna be like biased to a T, which I respect him be saying he's biased. Like, it's cool, whatever. But it's like, for
Right.
me, I think now I'm at like the age and the mindset of like, okay, I can understand what's good. What do I like? What do I think is good? And what I like in a story. So it's like, I think going back, like, people do need to go back and reread before going, like, just saying something opinion just because it's a hot take or it's trending or whatever. Something
Right.
that.
Right.
But now I wanted to ask you. We'll get back to the anime. How did
Mm,
you start YouTube? I know a lot of people probably, you start YouTube and you quit, or was it a thing you
right.
posted a video? So tell us, how did you start YouTube, man?
So I was in a class where we did editing and like all the whatnots,
Right,
and I was like killing it. Like I was doing so well in those projects. Like me and my homies, like we would be the ones who would goof off the most in class. But our teacher was chill because he knew of like all he cared is that we finished the assignment. We did our assignment. We would get done faster than everybody else and better than everybody else. That's just how it was. So and I was usually the one in charge of it because he would give us an assignment and instantly I could visualize how I wanted it to be done. So we learned to work with cameras, editing softwares, and it was just like, all right, bam. So we would go do our stuff, and then for fun, we would go in the hallway and like just film stuff, like skits and just stupid stuff like that. Um, and so my homies were like, "Yo, you should start a YouTube channel." And I was like, "Oh yeah, because I have everything I have here. I got a computer at home. Why not?" I literally the green light in my mind was, I'll never forget it. I was sitting at my desk
Mhm.
and I remember saying to myself, if you do it, you lose nothing by doing it. You just invest some time and you learn something.
Right,
But if I never try this, it could be the biggest regret of my life. So for me, there was no risk. It was only reward trying YouTube. There was no risk. Like I was at the time 17, just living at home, chilling.
right.
Like I have everything at my disposal. Why not use it? And turned out to be the best decision I ever made in high
But
school.
if it didn't work out, it's like, okay, go do a normal.
Yeah, find a job,
Right,
pursue a different passion, because YouTube was meant to be like a side thing for a main thing I wanted to pursue. But
right,
my goal was to hit 200K in 2 years. And I was like, okay, if I could hit 200K in 2 years, and it's what I did. So
right.
that's kind of how I got into YouTube. Now, there's actually a secret story that I'm going to tell you that I don't think I've shared before.
Cool.
Um, I actually had two channels before this one.
Hmm.
I had a channel with my homie that we would do the skits on,
Hmm.
but we just got like it something happened. We're
Hmm.
cool, like it's my best friend, like nothing bad happened,
Yeah.
but we just like wiped the videos clean.
Hmm.
And then on the channel, I started another one and I didn't like how it was set up,
Hmm.
and I didn't know how to change it at the time because YouTube was a little weird when it came to that. YouTube Studio wasn't as clean. They've come a long way in 2 years, I'd say. So I was like, "I'll screw it, whatever." And there were no videos on that channel, so it was technically the third channel that I started, which is this one, the Masked Man. That was the first channel I actually uploaded like an anime content. That was when I was like, okay, I don't want to do skits, I don't want to do AMVs, none of that. No, just anime content like swag, totally not marked. So that's kind of it was a three try thing, but the three tries were in the span of like 3 days.
Oh
So it
yeah.
wasn't, yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't like months I had failed or no. I started this channel February 27th, I think, of 2019.
Mhm.
So yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Okay. Now I wanted to ask you about your channel, whatever. What was,
Right.
because this is, I think, my perception, but tell me if I'm wrong. Your
Uh-huh.
first big video was when you did, like, I don't know how long it was. It was the Naruto video talking about like the hypocrisy of Naruto. Was that your first big video, or was it something else? Because I remember that being like the first video. I remember like it got like 1 million views, I think, or something like that. I could be mistaken,
That
but
might be another channel. I think that's a different channel.
I
That
might
might be Math Wiz.
I might be thinking, okay, might be thinking about him. But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
my bad. But
No, you
what,
straight, you straight.
what video do you think kind of put you on a map, or was it more of a thing that you were just essentially like climbing up a ladder, like one week, from week
I
one, 30 subs, next week 100, like what was that? And
I
views.
was I was growing at an okay rate. I
Mhm.
mean, it was in the course of like a few months because it was February and then like near June, July, I was nearing at 1K, right? So then by then I had met Ronan and Tyler,
Mhm.
Ronan at the time being Anime X, and
Right.
we grouped together and I was inspired by them. It was funny because out of the three of them, I, in terms of numbers, like performed like the least,
Mhm.
right? I didn't bother because, it was like friendly competition. It
Right.
wasn't ever, that's the worst thing you want to do as a content creator is compare yourself to other people. And I need to follow my own advice because that's what I've been doing recently and I need to cut it out.
Mhm.
But then I started doing some what ifs, some really terrible what ifs that they're all gone for a reason. But I was growing a little bit by little bit, but then I was like, I don't want to do a what if channel because I don't want to get boxed in. Because I noticed that about what if channels that already existed at the time for a little bit, they get boxed in, and I didn't want that. So
Right.
then I got into Berserk. Um, and that's when I did a Berserk timeline video that started picking up in views. Okay. So then I did a Griffith analysis video that I titled very similar to a Bonsai Pop video, The
Mhm.
Anatomy of Guts. I originally titled it The Anatomy of Griffith. So that video would get pushed in the algorithm, and it did. It got rolling and rolling. I'm cool with Bonsai Pop though now. I hope they don't mind. So then eventually it was near October. It was the day before my birthday.
Mhm.
Uh, I was like, oh, let me do a Berserk timeline,
Mhm.
but let me do it again because the one I did a few months ago was gaining a lot of views, but it wasn't that good. So then I did again. That's the oldest video you'll see on my channel if you go now. Um, I think, yeah. So then I did that video and it started picking up in views. And I started doing a bit more Berserk content. But the video that really blew up, that got like 300K in a week,
Mhm.
was The Beauty of the Angered Character, which for me was really, really dope because I had Guts, Asura, and Kratos in that thumbnail. And it was just a dope thumbnail. Like I looked and I was like, oh, this is dope. And I didn't expect it to do as well as it did, but it did. And I jumped from 10K, which I was at the time, to like 22K. And then from there, I kept growing a bit.
Mhm.
And then around like March of 2020, I was like, oh, let me start talking about other manga.
Mhm.
And then I jumped eventually to where I am now.
Okay, okay. So it was like you had a few videos that did really, really good. So it was kind of like a gradual growth, I would say. You didn't just
Oh, yeah, yeah.
pop, or whatever, as some people.
Nah, yeah, bro. Cause like for almost a year, I mean, like legit for almost a year, I was uploading 4 or 5 times a week.
Damn.
And a lot of those videos are gone. Yeah. Like that's why I've slowed down so much now because I'm in a state where I want to upload, but I want to put out videos that I can look at and be proud of, not look at and be like, oh, I want to delete this.
Right, right.
So yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. That sounds good. So now I want to ask you are a pretty big content creator. So for the people at home thinking about starting something or smaller or whatever,
Hmm.
what is some advice you give them from the editing aspect or from enjoying
Right.
love? What are some key points you would give to somebody who
Right.
wants to start content?
So my strategy was I wanted to see how far I could go with doing as little as possible editing wise, mainly because of copyright issues that I was going through at the time, and also because pumping out the amount of videos I was at the time and reading all the manga I was killing myself doing it basically.
Right.
Um, but I would suggest having decent editing, good quality editing, especially near the beginning of your videos, editing that will serve. The reason why I wanted to do as little as possible as well is because I wanted people to care more about what I say versus what they actually have to see. Like I feel like I'm that type of guy that you could just play off to the side while you're eating food or like you're drawing, and you don't have to look at the video all the time. Which is how I was with Swag Kage's videos.
Right.
So when I hear people say that, oh yeah, I like put your video and listen to it, I'm like, oh, that's dope. But actual advice though regarding, so you want to have obviously good content, right? You want to have a microphone you can invest to that will sound decent. You want to have an editing software that works. But what really matters is thumbnails and titles. Like a lot of people don't understand that like your videos can be as great as possible, but they will not get pushed if your thumbnails and your titles aren't as good. And people need to understand when they're a small content creator, when they're starting off, is you got to make people care about who you are. Like me talking about, listen, if I were to go and say Deku is better than Asta, that has just as a hypothetical, that carries so much more weight now as the masked man than it would have 2 years ago because
That's
I have a community. When you're starting off, you don't have the pros and cons of having a community, people who will watch your video no matter what because it's you. You
mm,
got to provide people with something. You're like a salesman of your own channel. You got to have that mentality. Um, Essentially, think
for
of it as a
marketing.
trade.
For
Yeah,
marketing.
marketing. Yeah, like think of it as a trade. Like right at the beginning of the podcast, you did the right thing. You asked people to subscribe. Like people who aren't YouTubers will be like, oh, they don't understand that. Like essentially, this is the deal. You subscribe, and I give you content that you want to. I entertain you. That's the trade. That's why it's important to remind people of that in videos. Make sure you subscribe. It helps a lot with your growth. But thumbnails and titles, you should have titles that are healthy clickbait. And essentially, what that means is you don't want to lie to the person, right? So
Right.
like if I do a video on Spider-Man, it best be about Spider-Man, not like RoboCop, because then people, it's going to kill your watch time and it's not going to be good. You're not going to earn as much you should from those videos. Plus, it's just that you're going to ruin your reputation that way.
Right.
Um, but as an example, my most viewed video is the Johan one. I could have just called it Johan Analysis, Monster Johan Analysis. That's a
Mm,
boring title.
yeah.
I called it the greatest antagonist ever in anime and manga, which I genuinely think, you know. Obviously it's a debatable thing, but do you see how the second title is a lot more like clicky than the first one? Like that second one grabs attention. So you
Right.
want to have good titles that grab attention but are honest. And thumbnails that are effective. Some people try to cram their entire title into their thumbnail. Don't. That's what the title is there for. Use a thumbnail to give an image that represents what you're talking about and start developing a style that is unique to you and that people will know it's you without even having to read the YouTuber who did it. Um, so really focus on your thumbnails, your titles, make those good, study the bigger YouTubers and see what they do, but also be yourself. Like, I think part of the reason why I gained the following that I did
Mm,
is from what I know is even though I was inspired by a few people, there wasn't really any channel out there like mine from what I know, you know, maybe now, yeah, but when I was first like blowing up, I guess if you want to say, there wasn't really someone who was talking about Naruto and 20th Century Boys and Berserk and you know, so
right.
like I would give my opinion on whatever I wanted to talk about, you know, whether seinen, shonen, obscure, popular, and there are some series that I've been able to talk about that have blown up more now, like Ragnarok and Tokyo Revengers.
Tokyo Revengers was
But
like, you was on it before like I started reading the manga
right.
because of video you put. So yeah, you be on it.
Right, yeah. So yeah, because I read the manga, I was like, this is such an underappreciated shonen, and now it's like pulling AOT numbers.
Fact.
So I can't,
Fact.
you know, but no, yeah, like I guess it's a combination of those things. Like be unique in a way, do things properly, have good thumbnails and titles, sometimes have videos that make people want to watch more videos that you have. So I have the benefit of like doing manga reviews. So like if I do a Naruto one, oh, what does he think about Hunter x Hunter? What does he think about this? What does he think about that? You know,
Right.
um, and all that. So it's good to keep people wanting to watch your channel. And as for actual branding, sorry, this is going on for a bit long, but
Oh man, you gotta let them. You gotta tell the people. You know
okay,
the best.
bet.
Tell them.
So my original like icon was the Obito mask, but
Yeah.
I edited a little bit, so it was a little bit unique, right? But
Yeah.
like my channel name was The Masked Man. I had a channel name before that that we're not going to talk about. That was the Hidden Swag Village.
Mm,
But oh my god, it's such a dumb name. But yeah, no, so I made the smart change to The Masked Man because I felt like it was less cringe and a lot more, you know, persona like, you know. Like don't have a YouTube channel called Naruto Uchiha YT and then expect people to take it seriously, you know? Like
I'm gonna think it's an AMV channel. I'm gonna think.
right, yeah. Right. Like look at your channel name, the way you've branded yourself and see if people are going to think you're an AMV channel or just someone who comments under Anatube videos, not someone who makes content, you know? So you want to have something unique in that sense as well, to where you can market for the future. Like, think of YouTube as a marathon, not a sprint. It's a mentality thing really when it comes to this. And enjoy doing it above all. Like, do content that you want to do and that people want to see. Balance that out. So that would really, oh, and collab with people. Don't be scared to collab and hit people up. I'll say this, big YouTubers, for the most part, do appreciate someone who's working hard and has initiative. And there's a huge difference between genuinely wanting to collab with someone like we're currently doing now
Right.
versus other people you'll see they'll like have no effort put into their channel, and they'll be like,
They
yo,
expect somebody to get to like put them on like a
right,
pedestal.
like shout
I
them
would,
out or
yeah,
something
I
like
wouldn't
that.
come to you
Yeah.
if I only had one video. I have like over 80 videos on my channel or whatever. And I
Right,
don't
right,
think that
exactly.
would be like, oh, want to collab and you my first episode ever, and I never just trying to munch on.
Right, right, right. So it is exactly. It's important to collab, and don't just try to collab with people bigger than you. Collab with people in your community. Like when I was starting off, I was trying to see, yo, who's like around my level, and
Right.
I got to. Not only do you get to meet people you get to collab with, but I mean, I've
Yeah, makes sense.
yeah, man, like I've made some of the most important friendships I think I currently have in my life because of that, collabing with people. If not, it'd be a very lonely road.
Right.
And there's a lot of people who have my back, and I'm very grateful for that. So yeah, that would really be the advice I'd give if you want to tackle YouTube.
Okay, okay, that sounds good. And since I always want to say like with the numbers thing, I just like I look at my but like I would tell people starting off, don't look at them in a sense, but like don't be so infatuated about them. Like just try to
Right.
put good stuff out. How would you agree with what I'm saying or
No,
not?
yeah, yeah. Like the numbers, obviously you want to grow,
Right.
but look at it as a step. Like my first goal was like, okay, can I get a video that gets 100 views in a week? Okay, if I don't, then what can I do to make a good video that hits 100 views, right? um like what can I do to get a video to 1,000 views? Man, I remember the first time I hit 1,000 views, how happy I was, man. Now if a video, oh man, it's crazy because YouTube is a never ending void.
Right.
What was once your best will now be your worst. And you got to mentally be okay with that. There's going to be some videos that have more intrigue than others. And it's just part of it. So don't always be infatuated too much. Yeah, like you said, with the views, but do have the goal to want to improve. But if it's better to just as an example, it's better to do a video that you're proud of and that you love that only gets 500 views versus a video that sucks and gets 1,000.
Right.
Honestly,
Right.
like put out stuff that you'll enjoy and then see maybe if, okay, was it the thumbnail? Was it the title? Was it my descriptions, my video tags? What was it about the videos that I can do to help them get more views? So I would say, yeah, don't be too infatuated all the time by the numbers. If you are, you're gonna drive yourself insane
Right.
because it's ups and downs for all of us, man. For all of us, there'll be some weeks, bro, where like a week or two where I'll be getting like 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 9 out of 10. And then there's other weeks where it's like 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 1 out of 10, 3 out of 10, 4. So even when you're a larger content creator, it's always ups and downs. The 10 out of 10 is inevitable. The 10 out of 10 video is inevitable. The one that does the worst amount of views, it's inevitable and you got to be okay with it.
That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. So now I want to ask more like about like you. What I
Uh-huh.
know White Kage inspired you, but some people who they don't have to be just anime YouTubers. They could be YouTubers
Right.
or people in your personal life. Who inspired you with the YouTube? Like your how you became you in a sense. Like some people.
Right. I mean, outside of Anatube, because I've given those examples a lot. I'm a big fan of like H2O Delirious.
Hmm.
I feel like he's just himself, and there's an energy to where it's like, what it is with him. I love Terrorizer as well.
Hmm.
Obviously, the amount that I can show what I'm really like is limited in the videos that I do. Although
Right.
I do give little slips and shows of high energy here and there on my streams. You tend to see more what I'm like. But and then in like my personal life, I mean, really just my homies and who I be around, like the way that I talk, the way that I am, like whether on YouTube or on Twitter, like that's just the way that I just joke around with my friends. That's
Right.
just the way that and I have to understand sometimes though that I can't always express that because, for example, some of the things that you might say or or joke around with your homies, you can't
Can't
joke around with
explain
people who
anymore.
don't know you. Yeah, because they don't know you. They don't know who you are. They don't know what you've been through. They just don't trust you like that. Like there's certain lines you have with strangers that are different for friends, and I understand that perfectly. But essentially, what I'm trying to get at is like for me, I like to just like be chill and just like
Mhm.
communicate how I feel as clearly as possible in a way, you know, but understanding that I'm still a flawed human being regardless at the end of the day. So I have inspirations from many places. I would say a YouTube one would be like Filthy Frank with his whole multiple like characters and personas type thing.
Mhm.
Um because even though in my videos currently it's not the most present, I do hope to make it more present as I grow larger and larger. It's more of a marketing thing, like a merchandise thing. Like if I ever wanted to make hoodies, I could have 3 different lines for 3 different characters. Plus, I love fan art, so it's like not just everyone drawing the same design. You get some options, right?
Right.
But no, I've had inspirations from many places. Hmm. If there's one maybe I would say that's come from real life, like some of the athletes that I really admire is they don't stop. Like it's kind of like their work ethic is crazy. And it's inspiring, but right now I'm kind of I've been in a burnt out stage for a while. I've just been like managing it, damage controlling it for a few months, I would say.
Right. 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 Okay. Okay. That sounds good, man. You got a inspiration from everywhere. I like that. I like that. So now,
Yes,
pros
sir.
and cons of having a big community like this, because I
Oh
mean,
my
if you
god.
post anything, you're probably going to average like about 20K views, probably. Right.
Right,
So
right. Yeah.
there's some pros to that. What are the cons to having such a big fan base? And the pros, because they're obviously.
Right. Right, right. Well, I mean, the pros is I get to meet so many incredible people and I get to hear stories. And I think one of the best feelings that I have that I don't want to say I'm used to it because I'm not, but I just don't know how to take it sometimes. Like I don't like to think about it too much because I don't ever want it to get to my head. But
Right.
whenever somebody's like, "Yo, I love your content. I love your videos. Like you've really helped me out in this and this way." Like it's one of the most fulfilling feelings ever, you know, because it feels like I'm doing so much more outside of myself. And for me, that's like the ultimate pro. The fact that anything that I do can inspire somebody else or maybe make their life better because they read a story that motivated them to improve in this area or that area of their life. Like that will always be like the ultimate satisfaction I get, you know. So that's one of the pros, as well as being able to financially provide for myself and my family and all that stuff like that. Now the cons, this is going to be a therapy session. Man, I feel like people put too much weight on your words, you know? Like
Mm,
like the same people who try to dismiss you and discredit you instantly, like, "Oh, that's the masked man. He doesn't know what he's talking about." But yet those are the same people that care so much when I don't say something positive about the series they like, you
right.
know? Like it's weird. The
Right.
anime community is weird. Like I've always said they're one of the most creative, and this could go for any community, but really the anime community here. Some of the most creative, genius, artistic people with limitless potential, but also with some of the most socially incapable,
Oh
like
my God,
crayon eaters.
bro!
Like
I've been to
uh,
cons. And like, okay, I'm a
right,
soccer, right? I played basketball my whole life, soccer and lacrosse.
right,
Like,
right.
so I understand. I talk to people that's been situations,
I
but
feel that. I feel that.
they're
Yeah.
so weird. Like they're just like they're so weird. Like you're just like, yo, can we just have a conversation? Like if it's not about anime, we can't talk about anything. I can't ask you how your day was. It's just weird, like weird.
Right,
Because I don't like
right, right.
like that.
No,
But
yeah, I feel that. You know, yeah, because like I'm relatively an introverted person, but
right,
if someone walks up to me and has a conversation, I can maintain it. I just might be a little nervous because I don't like again, I'm introverted in that sense. But I'm capable of at least maintaining a conversation outside of anime, right?
yeah,
Um, but it's also like the toxicity of it can be pretty annoying. But it's that like people put so much weight on your words when it's like, look, at the end of the day,
if you like it,
I'm
that's fine.
right, exactly. You like what you like, and that's fine. We don't have to agree. All because we don't agree on anime opinions does not mean like we need to go as far as to say, "Oh, I'm just a terrible individual," you know?
Right,
And that's how some people treat it. And I've seen envy before. Like, and it hurts because like I see a small channel that's doing well, but then like they think I don't know. I'm not gonna say names, but they don't think I know. But like they be talking sometimes. They talk crazy, and it's like you could always hit me up and talk this out. We
Like,
could collab.
drop them names, man. Drop the
Oh,
names.
listen, bro. Listen, bro. I don't need to. Honestly, I don't remember half of them. It's
Right,
not much. Like I said, I think I've left a pretty positive
right.
feeling in the anime community overall. But I would say that one of the other cons is you do get a lot of feedback from individuals who
Don't
they're
understand like all
right,
content.
right. They either don't understand or they come with this energy that's like they're loud and dumb, and it's like dog, you I don't know. It's just a lot of things, man. It's a lot of things. But the cons are stuff that you can ignore, at least. You can ignore it. Like you could just look at your comment section, just block the user and keep it moving, or just keep it moving. Like it's just not. But yeah, there is the cons of like I can't I can't say certain things, that I would say joking around because I don't even want to bother with the headache of people. Because some people, sorry, I'm cutting myself off, but like
You're good.
to just give it context, there's some people, and I'm mostly referring to like Twitter atmosphere type thing, where what you did may not even be that big of a deal, but because you have quote unquote clout, they will get clout from talking about you.
Right,
So some people, they don't even give a damn about the situation. They just know they could get some easy likes off of it because they talking bad about an Anituber.
right.
And it's like I think people many times forget, like
People,
I may I'm a person at the end of the day. Like my DMs are open. You could talk to me. We could hop in a call and talk things out, but most people don't want to do that because I think they'd be too scared to. So
I was gonna say with the comments and stuff like that, like just like you as a bait, does that affect you like mentally with any sense of like, do you ever be like, man, this is just too like have you ever been in a position where you're like, this is
ooh,
too much, I need steps, just step back from this, leave this alone, go live, go do regular shit, Has that ever came across your
ye-
mind?
yeah. I won't say it's just comments alone, but like comments on top of like all of the social interaction throughout the day online, plus the video making, plus all this stuff. Like, especially when you do like your real hardest on a video
Hmm.
and somebody just comes with this like really crazy energy. And it's like, all right, bro. Yeah, I think I'm a timeout for the day. Like,
Right.
it's because you need those mental breaks. There's only so much we as people can handle, to put it in perspective, I probably get in a day a couple hundred messages minimum in a day,
Right.
or including comments from
Right.
Twitter, YouTube. So when you're getting that much feedback from so many different individuals with sometimes conflicting opinions, you have to be firm sometimes and be like, all right, yeah. And then there's times where you'll make a mistake and be like, oh no, yeah, I did mess up, So it's like it's all that's why I say it's important though to have a friend group, that will keep it real with you and doesn't have any bad intentions and them. So, but no, yeah, there have been times where I've been like, yeah, I'm gonna take a break. And then other times where I was like, if it wasn't because this is my financial supply, I would take like I would pull a Jordan. I would leave
3 years
and
or year and a
yeah,
half.
and then come back and see if people missed me. Like
Right.
just cause, so
Right.
yeah.
And it's one thing like I've like seen you on Twitter because I don't be on Twitter like that, but you're not out here like you're not pulling a Katie, you're not going back and forth with people, you're not, you don't got no burners that we at least know about. So it's like
Nah. What's the point of a burner, bro? Like, if I have to use a burner, nah. What the heck? I'll say what I need to. I'll quote retweet you or just respond. Like, and most of the time it's just lighthearted stuff. Like, I don't really like everything I do on my Twitter is either me just voicing my thoughts about an anime or just joking around.
right,
A few times I'll get serious, and be like, "Hey, yo, like what y'all doing?"
right,
Or
right.
like what? But other than that, most of the time I'm just goofing off on there because like I have no need to
Going back
to.
and forth for real.
Nah, I don't like. It's not something. I know Twitter's not the place for discussion. Like it's just not. Like if I and sometimes Twitter gives you fuel to do a video because like if someone like what benefit do I have going back and forth about someone about Takamichi's character? I'll just do a video on it and then
Facts.
earn something from it,
Right, right,
Like
right.
give my thoughts on the character. It's simple as because I
Here's
have the
you
platform
can
to
go
do it.
watch it too.
Yeah,
YouTube.
exactly.
Yeah, so that makes sense. That makes sense. I
Yeah.
think I want to go to the anime and then I have a few more YouTube questions, but now I want to
Okay.
get spicy. Let's get spicy. So You are a man that's covered probably read hundreds of mangas, probably seen a lot of animes, and I'm not gonna limit you because you've seen so much. What are some
Right.
overrated anime slash mangas? Now listen, let's do this first. Overrated does not mean bad. It means it is not the hype that the general public
Public.
here deems
Right.
in your opinion. Because people think overrated means trash. No, it can still be
Right.
good, but just a little overrated slash overhyped.
Right. That that's difficult because like the term overrated, like even though it has validity to it, it's a word, of course, right?
Right.
But
Subjective.
it's right. It's one of those things where it's all perspective based because I could say Demon Slayer,
Hmm.
right? But the amount of people that I've heard call Demon Slayer overrated, trash,
I
mid,
think it's just
I
a
was like, well, if
good
I
solid show. Like it doesn't. I'm not
no,
gonna say
yeah,
it's bad.
that's what I think.
It's simple. It does what it's supposed to do. Like
Right, right.
I think it's an anime slash manga that is good to bring in like new anime fans. That's what Demon Slayer. I look at
Right, right.
for.
No, like I think it's a solid series. I do think, even though in one video I had it as the worst manga I read that year, I did say in that video, to be fair, that if Demon Slayer was the worst read I had, then it was a really good
That
year,
was a
which it
good
was
year.
because that was the year I read. Yeah, I read Vagabond, Pun Pun, like I read all these other like amazing manga. Demon Slayer just happened to be the least amazing for me out of all of them. So that it was a great year, like I said. But what I was trying to get at though is like if so many people say it's overrated,
Becomes
then is it really overrated? Because it's like, yeah, because it's like for the amount of people that will say Demon Slayer, I personally see a lot more people saying Demon Slayer is overrated, mid, bad, whatever, over the people who say it's the greatest anime ever. You
right.
know, so like if the overall consensus is it's good, then shouldn't just go off of the 4 or 5 people who scream it's like it's the greatest. You know, obviously there's a lot more people than 4 or 5, but you get what I mean. So it's a tricky one, but man, if I were to,
I hate
I
that
don't
word
really.
mid, by the way. Let me just throw that out. I hate mid, the term it's mid.
No, yeah, mid, yeah, no. The people I've always seen mid as like I'm incapable of explaining what I feel about it. It's mid. Um, I man, what I don't really know if there's a series I look at and I think it's overrated
Mhm.
because it's like I just tend to judge a series off of how I feel about it, not based off of what I think other people think about it, you know?
Right.
I feel like that's just doing too much. Um, I
Bro,
will.
he come on here. He hurt my heart. You know, I'm a One Piece lover. I understand the
He
flaws.
said he said one.
Yeah, I was so hurt. But listen. I'm not a person that's like, oh, that does everything great. There are flaws
Right,
in every story. I just happen to
right,
love it, and I can understand why people don't love it, and that's
right.
fine. That's fine.
Um,
Man.
if there is a series, I will say at the current moment that gets a lot of praise and I don't see it, right? That's what I'll say is that I don't see it. Now, mind you, I've only seen it in bits and pieces, but Monogatari, for me,
I agree. It was something that I heard was so great, and I just was like, it's okay. It's okay.
yeah, I need to watch it all the way through, and I understand the characters, and like I understand, or at least the Monogataris that I saw fully. So that would be Kiza Monogatari, Neko Monogatari. Those were the two that I saw completely. They were good, but they maybe it's just because I'm a manga guy and the medium of anime sometimes can be a little too slow for me.
Anime
That's
sucks, bro. Anime, I've gone straight to like manga. Like I'm manga. When anime sucks, it's terrible pacing, it's dragged. Can't do anime for real, for like that.
I think that's just me then, yeah. I just think anime for me doesn't work because it is too dragged on for my liking. So,
Right.
but I'll say Monogatari and just get ready for the whooping in the comments. So
I had one for just a discussion or whatever because I see a lot of people love it. And they're like, I wait because
right,
I watched again. This was an anime, so it could just be anime pacing. Gintama.
right.
I've tried so many times to get into it,
Gintama,
and
Gintama's a hard one to get into.
I'm just
Yeah,
like, where does it get good at? I'm just waiting for where it gets good at. Like the One Piece question, where does it get good at, man? So it's like,
yeah.
but I understand why people like it. It's kind of funny, I guess.
I mean, I guess no, yeah. Apparently it picks up like a lot by like episode 90 something.
I'm
But I feel like
good. I got
yeah,
life. I got school. I'm good.
right,
Yes.
right. No, and the manga's terrible. Gintama's manga's atrocious. It's actually atrocious. Like the worst 40 chapter experience I had. Like,
Mhm.
oh my god, bro. I don't even want to talk about it. It's a dark time in my life. Anyways.
Okay. So we got a little negative, but not too negative. You know, you get the diplomatic answer. You know, rate everything based off your experience. That's
Yeah, I don't have a lot of things that I look at negatively. Like there's just a few here and there, but for the most part I tend to be pretty positive about most of the series that I talk about, you know?
right,
That's why it's weird for me when someone's like, "Oh, it's elitist." It's like I legitimately have probably only bashed on like 4 or 5 series
right.
out of the how many plus that I've covered on my channel. So,
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Now you are the Berserk poster boy for anime too. And I have
right.
some of the people I work with who do some collabs with, they don't love Berserk as much as you do. So
Right.
I'm gonna give me a trailer of why they should start. People who don't like Berserk should start Berserk, or people who never seen it read it,
Right.
watching
Okay,
it.
right.
Terrible. Why should somebody read it? What is the appeal to it? Give us a synopsis, man.
I think Berserk is a story that has some of the best art you'll find in manga, and it's a depiction of what it truly means to be human at its most extremes. It's a story that covers action, romance, destiny, everything that is core to you as a human being.
Hmm.
You will question, you will look into when you read Berserk. It's a
Hmm.
wild ride, and it offers so many things, almost like unlike any other story. I think it hits hard like a truck, and it offers probably the best 1-2 punch in manga as well with Guts and Griffith. Like if
Hmm.
you like a cool badass character, that's Guts. If you like an introspective, deep and complex character, that's Guts. If you like a character that is just hot as hell, that's Guts. Pause. And then same like for villain, like if you want a villain who's all sort of complex and nuanced and equally as evil, it's Griffith. Like it's Berserk just covers so many things. It has lore. It has a dark fantasy world that's creative and unique and has inspired an entire generation of writers and video game makers. Like, so Dark Souls, if you like Dark Souls, you might as well as read Berserk. Honestly, like the royalties, I'd be surprised Mira doesn't have royalties for those games. So for me, it's a series, and I think a lot of people would agree, it's a series that just does so much. And once you read it, it's forever its own experience. Like as much as I joke about One Piece, there's not a single series out there that when you read it, you can say is like One Piece or
Hmm.
will offer the same things as One Piece in its entirety. And you can say that for every series, but I think
Right,
there's a lot of series that have common tropes that other series tackle in different ways, but similar enough to where you can make a comparison.
right,
With Berserk, there's not really anything like it. And with that being said, being more that it takes more than just being unique to be good, but
right.
it's unique and good. So again, if you like just raw, cool stories, Berserk has that. If you, I just think Berserk has everything a manga has to offer.
Right. That's the goat. That's the goat of your mangas, right? That's your goat. If I'm not mistaken.
Yep, that's my number one. Yep.
Okay. So that was a good synopsis, man. Did you read the last chapter?
Yeah, I
I haven't read
did.
it yet. Was it?
Um,
I heard it was very like great, emotional, all that stuff.
no, when you read it, it's gonna hit like a truck. So yeah,
Okay. All right. R.I.P. Man. R.I.P. That's rough.
facts.
Okay. Enough with the down tone. Now let's get to it. Underrated series for you. Some series that you
Ooh.
think on a level of maybe some mainstream stuff just not getting the love. Throw 'em.
Ooh, easily. Holy Land. Holy Land is a really underappreciated series. It's a street fighting manga.
Mhm.
Scamboli recently did a video where he talked about it. Um, I already talked about Scamboli about this. He in that video as well, he talked about Akumetsu, which is like my baby boy. That's the icon, the mask where I get, my thing from. I think Akumetsu is such a great read. I think it covers politics in a way that actually makes politics interesting, which
Right.
is crazy. Like it's not like you turn on CNN or Fox News and it's like, man, what's this? Nah,
President
it's
debate. Right.
right. Nah, it's like dope. So Akametsu's a great series. I think Rainbow is another really good manga. It's kind of a prison then turned boxing manga. And yeah, I would say I'll just say those three. Those
Okay.
three.
Okay.
Um, Yeah.
And these are all mangas, right? Mangas.
Yeah, Holy Land, Akumetsu, and Rainbow. Those are three. Those are three things I have rated really, really high that aren't mainstream per se.
Okay, makes sense, makes sense. Now I talked to Broken about this, and I also want to talk to you about this because you see the posters. You know, I like Bleach a lot, and I'm conflicted, and I want to understand because I watched your video, but it's different since now I'm talking to you, so I can kind of, it's like person to person type thing.
Right.
What your opinion on how people say Bleach falls off and this? Like, what when you look at Bleach in this whole entirety? One, I would love to hear what would you rate it, and two, like also,
Uh-huh.
how do you feel about people who do say that, and would you agree?
Say what about Bleach?
Bleach is like it falls off, it follows the same formula every arc, which is not true because
Uh,
like this the 1,000 Year War, the 1,000 Year Blood War arc was a lot different than the first two arcs, but
yeah, it was pretty nuts. Yeah, yeah, and Fullbring was pretty different at
yeah.
first. It is funny though because Ronan in his video addressed how like, and it's kind of
I
funny is
saw that
like,
he was like if every arc is like the Soul Society and Soul Society was top tier, then wouldn't that mean Bleach is top tier or something like that? It was funny. I was like,
right. It's like, yeah, exactly. It was like, yeah, facts. Even though I don't think Soul Society is where Bleach is at its best, not even close. What I rate it personally, is the same rating, around the same rating I give Naruto. I give it like a 7.5, like an 8.
mm,
I give Bleach an 8 out of 10. I think its pros outweigh its cons by so much.
mm.
I think it's crazy because people will look at Naruto
They
and
will
One
they,
Piece.
they will literally like shit on Bleach, but like won't look at Naruto for the same things. They think
Right,
it's so cool
right.
because they grew up on Naruto. It's different.
Right. No, but just also like just flipping that is like they'll be willing to put so much analysis into Naruto and One Piece, but then just act like Bleach doesn't have anything good about it worth analyzing. And I think Bleach is so subtle in its like narrative at times that it's like it's a little more fun to analyze for me, you know? Like it's a lot more subtle in its content and its themes. And the way that it built up its mysteries for the Thousand Year Blood War arc is insane, bro. Like I had no idea Kenpachi hadn't, you know what, with Kenpachi, like
Mm.
Kenpachi, and then everything with Ichigo's origin as to how he came to be, something that's been built up from the very beginning, and stories like it. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And then like
Honestly, a
Ulquiorra,
lot of people they go off anime too. Like they go there, they get the
right,
experience off of anime. And it's like, oh, fillers. And I'm just like, well, if you read the manga, it's no.
right.
I
The
even have
source
I have a
material,
Bleach for I'm doing a Bleach pod right now, and like
right.
because my co-host he had never seen it, and I'm just enjoying reading it. Like we read 30 chapters a week. We're in the Soul Society. That's not my okay. So I think it might be my favorite, but I enjoy Waco Mundo so much. Like people talk about some
Facts.
just rescuing Orihime. I said okay, and like the way they set the spot is up was I think amazing. Grimjow, like do not forget Grimjow, Yugahara. How you say Yugahara? I'm terrible with names. You
Yeah,
could
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
whatever. But like,
Ulquiorra,
yeah, and it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it was so I didn't understand like even though he could say some people say he self destructs and it was plot. Doesn't every like show has plot, bro? In a sense,
R- Yeah, in a way, every story has like their plot conveniences at times, but I don't know. I feel like with Bleach, people will flat out ignore. Again, it tends to be subtle with these things. It won't outright dump it in exposition, although it will with the abilities during its fights, which I talked about in my video. You know, like the characters will explain their abilities in the fights, but the actual things that happen to build things up narratively aren't outright told to you. Like you have to pay attention to the panels and little bits of dialogue here and there. So I think people just miss a lot of stuff when it comes to Hueco Mundo.
right. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So my next question for you, brother.
Hmm.
Top three new gen. We can separate, do a shonen category and then like a sign in.
Right.
We can separate it for and this is for you again. This doesn't have to be like
Okay.
you.
So where do we cut off new gen? Because like with
20,
that
I would say 2015.
2015.
2015, 2016. Because I
Okay.
don't think I've seen people say AOT is new gen. No, it's not. It came out 20. We were like, I was like 8 when AOT came out. No.
Right. And the manga came out like what 2000? It was a lot earlier than 20.
11, 10, I think, something like that.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. And then My Hero manga came out like 2014.
Yeah. Damn,
Okay.
I put my hair on my list. Well, oh well. But
Yeah, because I would low key include My Hero because well, I had like this
uh,
discussion with some of the homies, and we
Yeah.
were talking about how like, well, we consider like Berserk, Fist of the North Star,
Mm,
Dragon Ball, JoJo's to be like its own generation in like the 80s.
mm.
Then One Piece, like Naruto, Bleach to be a generation. But if you look at it, I think like One Piece to Bleach is like 5 years apart or something like
98,
that.
04, or something like that.
Right, right. So then it's like, well, if you look at My Hero would only be 5 years apart to like what
Jake,
JJK. Right. So I'll include My Hero in there as well.
all right.
Um, I would go from what I've read, new gen wise, Shonen,
Mm.
Hell's Paradise.
For
I have Hell's Paradise,
is it
Tokyo
is it
Revenge.
worth the read? I have not read
It's
it yet.
so worth the read. It's so good. Hell's
Okay.
Paradise is great.
Okay.
So I need to get caught up to JJK. So grain of salt when I say this. I'm not caught up with the manga of JJK. So
All right.
much that I'm reading, getting caught up on a series is like you know. So yeah, Hell's Paradise, Tokyo Revengers, Chainsaw Man.
Okay.
That would be my three for new gen. My
Mm,
Hero's close. I think My Hero and JJK are right there though. Like
mm.
I don't like it could be any other day of the week. I
I
would
just
love
I
My
just think
Hero.
that My Hero, like, it just has moments where it was just very like meh. Like going to the villain, like I just got caught with the manga because I was watching anime because I do enjoy the anime, but it was like season 5, 1A versus one. I'm just like, damn, another training arc. And it does
Right.
turn up, like it picks up Villain Academia to literally like the latest chapter is turned up, but there were moments where it was like I was like, this isn't.
Right, right.
It
Yeah.
could be because it's like kind of childish a little early on, just a little bit early on.
Right.
But
Right. The demographic in which it's targeted for you early on, you could feel that. I might swap out. Nah, yeah, I'm confident. Hell's
yeah,
Paradise,
right.
Tokyo Revengers, Chainsaw Man.
So, okay. Now, what's your like everything list? Like it can be signing, shoujo, romance, anything.
My
Okay.
top three all time or top three new?
Like new, like top 3 news, and that's not showing it. Like it could be like a sign in or like I said, shoujo, romance,
I don't think I've
mecha.
been I don't think I've been reading all that many like new gen seinen. Although
Mm,
if I have, I probably couldn't. Well, I know Jagan.
mm-hmm,
Jagan would be there.
mm.
Mm, wait, isn't Beastars a shonen? I
I
actually don't
thought,
know.
I think it's a sign in, but it might be on the Shonen Jump. Like I swear I saw one time like sign in, something like that.
Right,
But I don't
right,
know for sure to be honest. I know it's new, like 2017, 2018, so it's in that category.
right. Huh. That's tricky then, cause maybe Record of Ragnarok, but I'm not too sure about that one.
Right.
Um, I actually couldn't
The
tell you.
premise of it was dope. It's just the anime fucked it up.
Right,
Bad.
right. Huh. Now, yeah, I couldn't tell you for others because I actually haven't read that much. I would consider new gen seinen. I probably have. I
Don't know.
wouldn't know. I wouldn't know because I don't always be looking at the dates or like when certain things came out. I know
Right.
Jagan's in there though.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. So now I have two more questions for you. One will be YouTube, one will be anime, and then that's it, man. So
Okay, bet.
top five. I'll say anime too. Top five anime, top five manga. If you don't have enough anime that you love enough to put top five, I get it.
Right,
But I know you got the manga.
right. So my top five manga:
Mhm.
Berserk, Pun Pun, Vagabond, Monster, and then I might have Climber at five.
Okay.
Climber would
I
be
need
at
to
five.
watch or read Monster. I heard it's freaking amazing. Like that's what I've
No,
heard.
yeah, Monster's nuts. Yeah,
Okay.
bit slow paced at times, but it is nuts.
Okay.
And then top five anime. Geez, yeah, I gotta see if I've seen enough that I could. I know Code Geass is in there.
All right.
I know Cowboy Bebop's in there.
Okay.
Mm, even though I didn't like it, I would put Ava above a good amount of the things that I've actually seen anime wise.
Okay.
I would have Ava.
Got two more.
May, maybe because I've seen JoJo's through the anime, even though I think it's better in the manga.
Mm-hmm.
So I might go JoJo.
Mm-hmm.
And then 5th for anime, maybe Magi. I
Okay.
really liked Magi's anime. I had a lot of fun with Magi.
I like Magi. It's fun. It's just fun. That's what I
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
All right. That's all right. Now, one more question for you.
Okay.
If you could collab with any two YouTubers, they don't have to be in the anime YouTuber sphere, just YouTubers in general, who would that be? And a celebrity, maybe even celebrities, because celebrities do have YouTube accounts. So you can choose
Right.
celebrities, YouTubers, and anime YouTubers. You can choose two people.
Okay.
Dead or alive too.
Oh, okay, bet. I don't really think it would change my answer. So the first name that I'm really thinking of, just because I really feel like it's legendary. I'm not gonna say Scamboli,
Mm,
just because like I know Scam,
mm,
like we've spoken before. Collabs aren't his thing.
right, right.
We did an interview together,
Mm,
and people really loved the chemistry there. But no, yeah, I'm not gonna say him. I hope he's watching this. And I'd actually go Super Eye Patch Wolf. I feel like Super Eye Patch Wolf, if I did something with him, would be so legendary.
mm,
The video would actually go crazy, because he loves wrestling. I love wrestling. Um, he loves anime, manga. I love anime and manga. So it's like we
right,
legit could do a video on like CM Punk or on like a specific type of manga character or something like that. Like honestly, it would go crazy. Like I would love to work with him because he inspired like kind of what I do at times. Like I kind of see him as like the benchmark of what I need to reach, and all that. And then someone who's a celebrity actually that I would love to get on a video, man, would be like Denzel Curry, just because I know he
I
likes
remember you talking about him on West, when y'all did the tearing of waifus, like the whole
right,
Denzel versus Playboy. That was
right.
pretty funny. So, all right,
Right, exactly. Yeah. Nah, Denzel, that's like my favorite artist. I love Denzel, I love Tyler the Creator, Kanye. Uh I'm not gonna talk about Drake. So we
Donda better than Drake. I mean, Donda better than CLB.
easily, man.
I
Easy
agree.
for
I
me.
agree. I agree. For me, I agree.
I think I had some good songs.
I love Drake though, but like Drake's that's a whole different story. But just some of the I think Drake's stuff is more of like what's nice to hear on the radio. I think Donda's more like really like
Soul hitting.
something I'm gonna
Yeah,
sit
yeah.
down late at night and be like,
Yeah, facts, especially Moon into yes, sir. Yes, sir.
okay, okay.
Um, so yeah, but no, yeah, I'd love to have Denzel on a video. I feel like the energy would be dope. Interviewing him would be awesome and a dream come true. I would have said Tyler the Creator, but I'd be scared because like he's so chaotic. I couldn't tell what he, you know.
Right, right.
So yeah, that
I ain't
would
gonna
be
lie, I probably would have did Megan just because I knew she gonna bring in views, bro. She gonna bring in views. She might not do a lot of anime talk like deep analysis, whatever, but she gonna bring in views and hey, it's waifu, man. Come on.
right. Yeah, no, yeah, no facts. I see where you at.
Yeah, right. So man, I am honored. I appreciate having you on. Please tell the people where they can find you at, you know.
Of course, Mass Man, whatnot. Link in the description below, I guess. I don't know, maybe.
Uh,
Um, but if y'all are watching coming from my channel, make sure to subscribe to this guy. Yeah, it was really dope. Appreciated you having me on.
thanks for coming on again. Remember, go like, comment, subscribe, turn notification bell notify for all anime again show things. That's from YouTube, Instagram. I'm gonna start being more active on Mega Twitter, on Twitter or whatever, because a lot of people are there, and on TikTok. I
Right.
hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Again, I am blessed to have the Masked Man on. Big fan of his channel. If you are on my channel, you just somehow not subscribed to him, please do. I mean, the man's goated. I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode, and we are out. Peace.